Hi, it's Ra, Rishi Kavi Raghudas from Star Presence Astrology, here to give the astrological forecast for Sunday, August 2nd, 2026. It's a day that's divided into two parts by the moon changing signs. The sun today is at 10, moving to 11 degrees of grand and glorious fire sign Leo. See, we're here in the gold for the sun-ruled sign of Leo, my King Tut shirt. And the moon begins the day in the latter degrees of mystical, magical, often escapist, but highly creative and intuitive water sign Pisces. So whenever the moon is in Pisces, it's great to kind of tune into your spirit. Speaking of spirits, the moon at 25 degrees of Pisces makes a direct opposition to Venus, a planet of love and affection, at 25 degrees of Virgo early in the day. And that's one of those sweet kind of aspects for spiritual devotion or just plain sweets. Hey, I want a donut or something really sweet, or sweetness with your partner. That occurs early in the day, 5:33 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 8:33 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 1:33 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So hopefully you can provide the fulfillment of that craving for sweets at that time. The moon then goes void, of course, meaning it's not making another aspect. Things tend to fall flat under a void, of course, moon, so don't attempt much until the moon moves into the next sign, which happens to be the dynamic and impetuous fire sign of Aries, which means that both the sun and the moon will be in fire signs, which means it's always a very active and energetic and sometimes very impulsive time. Actually, here in Northern California, we're kind of surrounded by wildfires right now, so we don't need any more of that kind of fire. But the moon moves into Aries at 1:37 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 4:37 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 9:37 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, so a much more active period coming up under the moon in Aries. But it doesn't make another aspect until late, very late, when the moon gets to 4 degrees of Aries and makes a harmonious 60-degree sextile to Pluto, the personal power planet, at 4 degrees of Aquarius, 9:11 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 12:11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 5:11 a.m. tomorrow Greenwich Mean Time. That's good for deep research, maybe some passion as well, but of course, because both Neptune and Pluto are at 4 degrees, the next aspect is a conjunction to Neptune, the dream planet, at 4 Aries at 9:22 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, just 11 minutes later. 12:22 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 5:22 a.m. tomorrow Greenwich Mean Time, which means you could go out in a nice sleep very late. The moon at 5 degrees of Aries makes a harmonious 60-degree sextile to Uranus, the sudden change agent. That could be a little bit more excitement than you might want. Late at night, 10:56 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 1:56 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 6:56 a.m. tomorrow Greenwich Mean Time. Now, Chiron, called the Wounded Healer, stations retrograde tomorrow at 0 degrees of Taurus. So we're in a time of some really big shifts of energy here. So easy does it as you go through the day today, as we move from more contemplative into a much more active sort of energy. I'm Ra, Rishi Kavi Raghudas from Star Presence Astrology. Now, if you would like to have a personal reading with me, you can book on my website. Please do, starpresence.net. Remember, from the very moment that you're born, you've got star presence. Enjoy today, no matter what.